Hey, hey, hey. Happy Wednesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, which I happen to be the Grand Poobah. Yes, I am the founder and editor-in-chief of The Gaming Gang. So if this is your first time joining me, welcome aboard. Thank you very much for kicking back. Got to point out, this is very, very casual. This is not rocket surgery by any stretch of the imagination. We're just hanging out, talking about tabletop gaming. So if it's board games, role-playing games, miniatures games, card games, we're talking about them. And, of course, do want to mention that if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you do subscribe, ding that bell, because not only will it let you know when the Daily Dope streams live right here on YouTube, Monday through Thursday nights, it'll also let you know when I upload other videos, including my review of The King is Dead, 2nd edition from Osprey Games, which just happened to be my 700th review. That's right, it is review number 700 over on thegaminggang.com. So, as a gag, yes, I see people in chat are already chiming in. Speaking of chat, do you want to point out, because this is a live stream, that means there is chat available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But I do my best to pay attention to chat. So if you want to say howdy, maybe you got a question, comment, by all means, please chime in. I will do my best to respond. So yes, as a gag, because once again, because I wear hats all the time, I've had people wonder, how, does Jeff not have hair? Is he balding? Well, as you can see, I am far from balding. This is my COVID coif. So, and funny enough, my hair is not as gray as it may look with all this light on it. There's a lot of, actually, it's light kind of catching the hair here. But yes. And the funny thing is, I actually buzzed this all off. No, not all off. I buzzed it pretty short. And hang on one sec, gang. No, I'm doing the show. All right, so sorry about that. If you may have remember, if you were watching last night, my sister-in-law's parents, it's looking like they got COVID. So that was somebody thought I was talking to my brother about it. And I'm like, no, I'm doing the show. So, because we still really don't know much. I'll talk about that in just a sec. The madman's like, what's wrong with no hair? Nothing's wrong with no hair. It's just, I always have hair poking out, right? So you usually see some hair poking down here. So wouldn't it be kind of weird? I mean, what would I have? Like one of those like acolyte cuts, like the monks would have, right? Yep. No. All right, so let's see who's in chat so far. We already know the madman is hanging out. Flaming Heron was first out the chute tonight in chat saying hi. John Vogel is in chat. John Vogel actually sent me a picture from Origins Game Fair. I think it's 91. I know on the image it said 1989, but I know that can't be the case because the Gaming Gang wasn't around in 1989. We launched in 1990. No, what am I thinking? We launched in 2010, 1990. Holy we'd be going 30 years, not 10. We'd be in my 31st year of covering the hobby, not my 11th. So I thought that was very funny. It was a picture of, it was weird. One year, Origins had some of the gaming media. They gave us a section to ourselves in one of like the gaming areas. And we were able to like set up a table and stuff like that. And we had a banner with our old logo. And obviously enough, almost nobody from the companies wanted to take time away from their own booths to go over to sit down and interview with people. So we spent almost no time there. But John Vogel walked up. If I remember right, I think Ellie and I may have been playing a game. It was either when John walked up or maybe we were playing Twilight Struggle, actually. Or that might have been the time when the folks from the company that makes Sentinels of the Multiverse game that I did not give a very good review to came over and was like, hi, and hey, you got to check out, you got to try the game now that we fixed some of the rules. It's like, okay. So I thought that was funny. That is an old photo that John was kind enough to send along saying, oh, hey, so, I have met you guys. So Paul Nolan's in chat. We haven't seen Paul in a while. So, of course, as I mentioned, the Madman, we've got Kabuki Kid. Who else do we have floating around? Anybody else? That is pretty much it so far. So Paul Nolan says that they have Viking length hair. And Flaming Heron says, yes, Friar Tuck hair. Yes, that would, I guess, what people would think I must have. If it's like, oh, Jeff wears a hat all the time. Is he, kind of losing his hair? It's like, no, it's because I got too much hair. That's why I usually have this. So Flaming Heron says, Sentinels in the Multiverse. I had the PC version of that game. Yeah, after they fixed it. It was funny because when it first came out, there was one, it had like 3 villains. And one of the villains, it was, you could actually, depending on the card combination that came out, there could be a loop, basically, where you couldn't do anything against the baddie. And it was like, what? Shoo. All right. Anyway. So as I mentioned, review number 700 is up on the site. It kind of snuck up on me because I would have made a bigger deal about it. Oh, well. So there's that. Also, I was talking yesterday about my sister-in-law. Her parents thought they had COVID, and they have admitted her father to the hospital. But as of this afternoon, when I talked to my brother, they still weren't sure if he had COVID or not. Because and of course, my brother here in the Chicago area, this is up in Michigan, this is going on. Down here, my brother's like, oh, what the hell? I'm like, come on. It's like these hospitals are overwhelmed. Their systems are overwhelmed right now, and it's getting worse. I was like, cut these people some slack. It's like, it's like, I mean, I understand it's his father-in-law, it's his wife's dad, but it's also, looking at it from the hospital's point of view, it's sort of like, it's one of thousands of people. So, Flaming Heron says, wow, I figured they would have had a result soon enough. I have the feeling that they don't have the rapid response, or what they're doing is they're just kind of utilizing the rapid response only when, direly necessary is what I'm kind of thinking. So, but as far as I know, they were admitting him to the hospital. I haven't found out since, it's probably been about 5 hours since I've heard anything. So, fingers crossed still, but yeah, don't Anyway, and of course, the news just keeps getting worse everywhere. So that's why we're going to talk about some tabletop gaming news and cheer up a little bit. Hopefully. Because now available from Garphill Games and Renegade Game Studios is Viscounts of the West Kingdom. Here's the dope. Or I know some people call them Viscounts. I've heard both. I'll say Viscounts. We'll say Viscounts. Viscounts of the West Kingdom is set at a time when the king's reign began to decline, circa 980 AD. Choosing peace over prosperity, our once strong king began offering our enemies gold and land to lay down their axes. But peace is a tenuous affair. As poverty spread, many people lost faith in his ability to lead and sought independence from the crown. Since finding favor in his courts, our future has also become uncertain. As Viscounts, we must be wise and decisive. Loyalty is to be upheld, but gaining favor among the people must be our priority, should there be a sudden shift in power. The aim of Viscounts of the West Kingdom is to be the player with the most victory points at the game's end. Points are gained by constructing buildings, writing manuscripts, working in the castle, and acquiring deeds for new land. Players begin with a handful of townsfolk, but should quickly seek out more suitable talents to advance their endeavors. Each turn, they'll be traveling around the kingdom, looking to increase their influence among the various areas of society. The game ends once the kingdom reaches poverty or prosperity, or potentially both. Viscounts of the West Kingdom is for 1 to 4 players, ages 12 and up. Plays in 60 to 90 minutes. It is out now. It does carry an MSRP of $55. Ka-ching! So, another Shem Phillips design. So so I got to be honest. I've actually only really played Raiders of the North Sea, but really enjoy that. It's actually one of my nephew Cameron's favorite games, and I know a lot of people definitely dig Shem Phillips designs. So very cool. So this is available now. It is out in stores. So some discussion about my brother's father-in-law. Yes, we got our fingers crossed. The madman says, yeah, but professional college athletes have access to rapid tests. Yeah, because there's money involved there. Not as much money as there had been, but there's still money. So I know John Bogle, I believe it was John Bogle, had pointed out, it's War Game Wednesday. Yes, that's right. So I have some fresh dope about a new World War II war game. No, it's not really new. It's probably a reprint. I'm a little up in the air about this. But it is coming soon from Phalanx Games. Here's the dope on Fire in the Sky. Simulating the Pacific Front of World War II has always been one of the great wargame design challenges. The same distance that planes could cover in a few hours took days for ships and weeks for foot soldiers. So, weeks? What were they, walking on the ocean? It's like, what? Hostile jungles and great oceans combine to make logistics and transport of paramount historical concerns. These and other design puzzles are solvable only by the most gifted designers. With only one map and 180 counters, Fire in the Sky packs years of prior Pacific design attempts and experience into an effort that beautifully distills the essence of the conflict and serves as further proof that great things do indeed come in small packages. Fire in the Sky provides players with the same problems and perspectives faced by the historical combatants, yet does so in a game that can be played in 5 hours or less. I have to chuckle because only a war game would advertise it as being, well, you can do all this, and the game takes less than 5 hours to play. The game is ingeniously balanced and so provides not only a look into the minds of the actual commanders, but also a fun, competitive, and tense gaming experience. The game includes glorious 1-inch counters, a clever map that integrates hexes and areas, and rules that cover all the essential aspects of the Great Pacific War. Oil convoys and troop transports are as vital to victory as the massive carrier fleets that steam over the vast Pacific. Tetsuka Nakamura, I believe that is the pronunciation of the designer, his intelligent and ingenious design also offers Western players a fascinating glimpse into the Japanese perspective on the war. Fire in the Sky is for 2 players, ages 12 and up. I don't know if you're going to see 12-year-olds playing 5-hour war games. Never know. It does play in 5 hours or less. It is supposed to arrive later this year. So, as far as I understand, this was originally a multi-man publishing release. I think it was back in 2005. So it has been out of print. Supposedly, this is supposed to release by the end of the year. I don't know when. And if you go to Phalanx, they have a pre-order page, but no way for you to actually order it. So I thought, oh, well, usually Phalanx is released here in the U.S. from Ares. So I went over to the Ares Games website. There's no mention of this anywhere. So I don't know. I got to say, it looks pretty cool. Could be pretty cool. I am a big Pacific theater fan. I do enjoy my Fletcher Pratt's naval war game. So, of course, we didn't use aircraft too often because it's just, those rules are a mess. Trying to use aircraft. But then again, those rules were kind of designed back when it was like, what, 1936? So they didn't really, it was like, dive bomber? Yeah, right. So, anyway, the Madman says, because Kabuki Kid is saying, oh, yeah, well, sports, essential services. Hey, I am all for sports, too. I mean, the baseball season really helped me keep my sanity. But as the Madman points out, that he also loves sports, but in his opinion, they shouldn't have preferred access to rapid tests. Yeah, it's all about the money. It's all about the Benjamins. It's just, I mean, that's the way the world works, right? So a Grade A has popped into chat. Good to see you, Grade A. All right, moving right along. So that's our first war game news for the evening. I've got another item. Looks pretty cool. Because now up on the GMT Games P500 pre-order system is a pretty interesting sounding science fiction coin game. That's right. It's a science fiction counterintelligence game. It's called Red Dust Rebellion. I've got the dope. It's 2250. The bicentennial celebrations of the first human colony on Mars are about to begin. 200 years of human achievement, but also 200 years of hardship. Mars is an unforgiving world, a barren wasteland on the surface. Therefore, the people live in vast underground cities known as labyrinths. Over the years, the people of Mars have formed their own culture and identity and want more say in their own rule. To many, Earth is a remote world with too much control over Martian affairs. Furthermore, Earth's corporations have too much power over life and death. Some long for a green Mars covered in oceans and life, while others recoil at the idea that humanity will destroy the climate of another planet. Red Dust Rebellion tells the story of the Martian revolts of the 2250s and the rise of Martian nationalism. Up to 4 players will take in this game and control the following factions. The Martian Provisional Government believes it has the best interests of Mars at heart. Made up by bureaucrats appointed from Earth and locally elected officials, they are walking a political tightrope of representing Earth interests while keeping the local population happy. They need the support of Martian locals to effectively administer the planet. The MG has the backing of Earth and access to their resources, but Earth is far away and shipping is a time-consuming process. So they'll need to manage their flow of resources carefully. They'll rely on their sometimes allies, the corporations, to help stabilize Mars and protect against raids from the Church of the Reclaimer. Mars is the future for humanity, and with rampant climate change events on Earth, the push to further colonize and terraform Mars is growing. The corporations are Earth-controlled companies with vested interests in Mars. And while they have a bottomless amount of resources to commit to the conflict, they ultimately have to answer to their shareholders. That means that profits are the primary motivation of everything, right? Replacing units costs money, so they want the Mars government to fight their battles for them. The corporations also wish to extend their infrastructure to ready the planet for eventual terraforming. Native-born Martian workers from the backbone of the Red Dust movement, the so-called Dusters, demand a government for Martians by Martians without Earth interference. Damn you, Earth! And they are willing to take it by force. Nominally a workers' movement, the Dusters are an organized and determined force within the labyrinths of Mars and must rally the unions, guilds, and various popular assemblies to their cause to force the Earthers out and secure a free Mars for Martians. And finally, many look at the mistakes of old Earth and do not wish to repeat them. We have poisoned our home world and are planning on poisoning another. Human history is a process of making the same mistakes over and over again. These ideas have created the Church of the Reclaimer, a post-humanist faith. They seek to adapt humanity to Mars, not the other way around. And they are opposed to all terraforming and further colonization on Mars. While the moderates of the faith seek to block this progress using peaceful protest and political action, the more extreme elements are not above using violence to achieve their goals. A Mars return to its natural state with human impact kept to an absolute minimum. Currently, Red Dust Rebellion has over 1,100 orders on the P500. You can join that pre-order list at the price of $66. The MSRP is expected to be $95 when this comes out. So we do know it's already gone past it's usually 800 orders. I know it's a P500, but it's usually 800 is what GMT looks for. So we know this is going to go, and it's going to go to print. I got an understanding here that it's probably not going to come out until probably 2022. Because this does really look interesting. So Flaming Heron says, I feel Earthers always get the rough end of the stick. Yeah. Right. Yeah, those belters, man. I don't know about those belters. That's actually a great series. I really do like that series. So the Madman says, Red Dust looks interesting, but how many games about Mars can you have? But this is going to be different. This is a war game, effectively. It's the coin series. So it's, as far as I understand, I think this is the first coin series game that I've ever heard about that is actually not historically based. So I gotta say, the artwork looks very cool. So when we're talking about Mars games, most of these games, like for an example, Terraforming Mars, which I really enjoy, I think is a great game. But there's a lot of other Martian terraforming games out there. This is different. This is basically for who controls Mars. So, I mean, all I know about is what I read and the images I'm showing you. And all we get to see are, you're seeing it right now, some of the cards for the games. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't tell you if it's going to be any good, but this does look pretty interesting. And a coin game for $66, that's a pretty good deal. Although I think Cuba Libre, I don't think that's a very expensive coin game, because that is a smaller scale game. That's the coin game I always recommend people check out if they're kind of interested in the concept of the coin series. I always tell them, check out Cuba Libre. It plays small. It's not too bad. John Vogel says it looks like it's a 3-player game. Huh. Interesting. Well, there are 4 factions, so I don't know. So the madman says, and if they end up buying it, they're going to blame me. Well, you can blame me, but also let GMT know. Remember, I keep telling you folks this, and it works. When I tell you, if I do a review and you purchase something, you end up buying that game, or I do a news piece and you're like, oh, wow, that looks really interesting. You buy it. You let the companies know that you heard about it from the gaming gang and me, or me and the gaming gang. It opens their eyes. Yes. Brian Grunberg has joined us in chat. Good to see you, Brian. Welcome aboard. So there we've got a couple of war games, although, okay, Red Dust Rebellion isn't necessarily a historical war game. So Paul Nolan said that they had mentioned me when they ordered from Daring Play. What did you buy from Daring Play? I'm like, name rings a bell, but I don't remember what it was. Hang on, because I can even picture the logo. Oh, it's the Traveler game from my pal Terry Coleman. Am I right? Am I right, Paul? There you go. Thank you. So there we go. I wonder how much of a delay there is sometimes, because there'll be sometimes that I start saying something and then I'm in the middle of saying it and then it'll pop up in chat. All right. Let's talk about some role-playing games, because there is a new role-playing game based on the mechanics of the popular Into the Odd. This is available from Parts Per Million. I've got the dope on Into the Rad, a Mark of the Odd solo game. This game is a mashup of the original intro. I shouldn't say intro. What the hell's wrong with me? Into the Odd rules. Man, it's just been a weird day today. From the SRD, which, if you don't know what the SRD is, that's like just the core rules without any artwork, without any good fluff. It's just, boom, here's the rules, man. It's a retro clone of Gamma World and a really simple solo role-playing system that uses the Into the Odd luck roll as a basic decision-making role. Into the Rad can be played as a regular RPG or solo with no changes. The book contains rules for creating your character, mutations, modern tech, and creating mutant monsters, both animal and vegetable. Random tables for weather, terrain, and how to build random encounter tables are included. Most of the tables are simple D6 tables. There are too many mutations and drives for a D6, so those use a percentile die and D12. The world of Into the Rad is 30 years after a nuclear holocaust, and the next generation are trying to rebuild from isolated settlements and exploring out there to scavenge and for resources and the hope of making contact with another friendly settlement. Everything is out to kill you, and it is perfectly capable of it. The game works equally well with the referee-created homebrew setting or the sample setting based upon a stretch of land from St. Louis to Chicago. Nice. The 58-page PDF of Into the Rad is now available over at DriveThruRPG for $4.95. Cool. Very nice. I have not read Into the Odd. I have not looked through it. I know it's another, what do they like to call it? Kind of new SR, like NUSR, like OSR, right? But it's very popular. It is very, very popular. So kind of cool. Kind of cool. I thought I'd share that with you because I'm liking these kind of a little more rules light, kind of like black hack sort of games. So I actually received one in the mail today. I will show you that right after the news. So I've got one last RPG news piece. So this is, yeah, right. the SRD, the system reference document. So Brian Gronberg says it's not Tasha's hideous laughter, it's just hideous laughter. Yes, it has been a weird year, says Grade A. Yes, I certainly do agree with you on that. All right, final news piece. The Brazilian fantasy role-playing game, The Elephant and Macabre Banner, has a new source book, which includes an adventure. I've got the dope on the Royal Captaincy of Rio de Janeiro from Porcupine Publishing. This PDF contains 95 pages, including information on colonial Rio de Janeiro in the EAMB, setting, monsters and magic of the region, plus a grand adventure, the restoration of France, Antarctique, maybe it's Antarctique, like the Antarctic. But why would that be in Rio de Janeiro? The adventure is designed for the Elephant and Macabre Banner role-playing game, suitable for any tabletop role-playing game that includes or can accommodate pirates, magic, monsters, wild pigs, annoying but helpful spirits, jungle treks, and mermaids with undersea palaces. The book contains a brief history of the Captaincy, the city of São Sebastião Rio de Janeiro. Can we just say Rio de Janeiro? Guanabara Bay, beyond the bay. Further information on colonial Brazil, including settlements, the people, expeditions into the interior, monsters and magic of the Captaincy, including a bestiary, trinkets, baubles, and magic items, as well as the adventure, the restoration of France, Antarctique, or something like that, as well as ideas for other adventures in the Royal Captaincy of Rio de Janeiro. See, I treat English like a second language. What happens when I run across things like, Spanish and Portuguese and Brazilian? Yes, it's all. This 94-page PDF is available over at Drive-Thru RPG for $11.99. I have to say, even though I have not seen the Elephant and Macabre Banner role-playing game, I did share the information when they had the Kickstarter, which did not fund, by the way. It came close to funding, but it did not fund, but they still went ahead and made it. They still went ahead and released it. I kind of have a soft spot for this because this is a Brazilian language role-playing game originally. Now, it has been translated, if I remember correctly, it's translated by, I think his last name is McGraney, Tom McGraney, something like that, who, if you listen to Fear of a Black Dragon, is one of the co-hosts. So this is supposedly, I shouldn't say supposedly, the role-playing game is based on a best-selling series of fantasy novels that are in Brazil. Pretty cool. Very nice. Excellent. So that is something to keep in mind. I think this is the second or third adventure that's out now for this. So because I do think there are some foreign language adventures that have already been out. And it looks like they're actually translating these and getting them out much faster than Ulysses Spiel does with The Dark Eye. All right, so Flaming Heron mentioned, yes, this is on tomorrow's news, Mang, that there is a new Humble Bundle, which we have two Humble Bundles for Symborum. Oh, hey, so here we go. There's Tom. I know I didn't come close to pronouncing your name. So Tom says that the Elephant and Macabre Banner did fund. Oh, you see, and I thought you guys missed it by that much. Let's see who picks up on that reference, right? Would you believe? Actually, I do a terrible Don Adams. Elliot, my best friend, does a fantastic Don Adams. But I just told you the actor, not who it is. Would you believe? So Tom says they only just funded. So Tom, let us know in chat. Hey, this is back-to-back days that we have somebody from a game company hanging out. And if memory serves me correctly, I think Tom lives in Asia. So because I listened to Fear of a Black Dragon, and as I said, I am pretty sure Tom's the co-host on it. Then again, I could be completely wrong. And once again, proving I am a dope. So Tom should tell us a little bit about the game, because I'd be very, very interested in checking it out. Speaking of checking things out, remember I was mentioning, yeah, I definitely dig the kind of like the rules light OSR kind of movement. So I received a Black Sword hack today, and this is based on the Black Hack, obviously enough, but it is designed more for like the Eternal Champions books from Michael Moorcock. So Elric of Melna Bonnet, Hawkmoon, Corum. So I took a peek through it. It's like 75 pages. I started reading through it, and it is very similar mechanically. It's almost identical mechanically to the Black Hack second edition. So very cool. Anyway, so keep an eye out for that. So Greatest says, yes, you can get it on Drive-Thru-RPG via Jeff's Gaming Gang banner. Always remember, gang, it is the Gaming Gang. So, because a lot of people go look for gaminggang.com and they're like, I didn't find the website. Like, no, it's because it's the Gaming Gang. But yes, I was talking about Drive-Thru-RPG. And of course, the Gaming Gang, plus the Daily Dope, are affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to visit Drive-Thru-RPG, I don't know, maybe to go check out the Elephant and Macaw banner. Hint, hint. Be sure to stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads, and that way, if you do happen to make a purchase, I get a little portion of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up. And they, most of the time, month in, month out, they do pay for the hosting for thegaminggang.com. As I had mentioned before, I don't have cheapo GoDaddy hosting either. Speaking of the Gaming Gang, past few days, we have just been blowing it out of the water, visitor-wise. In fact, the past 2 weeks has been really good. I mean, we pull in a good amount of traffic. In fact, far, far more people know about the website than the show. Obviously enough, because if I had the same amount of people showing up to the website as I do the show on a nightly basis, I'd be like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'd be like, I washed my hands of that. So Paul Nolan's like a piece of the action. Good deal. So anyway, so yeah, and it's not just people showing up for my review of Tasha's Cauldron of Everything either. It's a lot. So a lot of different stuff. A lot of people coming for the Cyberpunk Red. There are a lot of people coming for this. Quite a few people for the latest Paizo review, the Starfinder review that Sammy did. So, yeah, so pretty cool. Speaking of Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, you want a chance to win it? You want a chance to win this book right here in my hands? If you do, by all means, check out my first look video as well as my review video, because in each one, I will tell you how you can have an opportunity to win my copy. And if you follow the instructions for each of the videos, you'll get 2 entries. So there's that. And I am going to announce the winner live on Monday's show. So time is running out. You don't have too much time left. So Flaming Huron says, it's weird because the website, I am sure, mentions the show. Oh, yeah, there's, articles on it. So whenever I do a show, it pops up on the website, just like when I do videos. Speaking of videos, because all the weirdness going on today, I have not had an opportunity to do my unboxing of Caesar Rome versus Gaul from GMT Games. I was going to do my unboxing video today. Like I said, I got a bunch of stuff going on. Well, like I said, the whole COVID-19 thing up in Michigan, we don't know. I will probably find out when I go finish up the show and head upstairs. So when I leave the Duct Tape Studios, because I think that's what somebody was trying to call down to me and tell me. Anyway, so I will have this done tomorrow. So Tom says, thanks for featuring Elephant and Macaw banner. There's more stuff coming soon. You can get the PDF of the Curse of Ipuana. I'm sure I mispronounced that. Right now, it is a short horror adventure. If I remember correctly, and once again, I'm just kind of accessing the old memory banks, I thought there was a free quick start. I don't know if maybe it's just like a player's guide or something like that. I'm sure Tom can correct me. So a Great A says no one leaves the Duct Tape Studios. Yeah, they do. Sure they do. Unless I'm eaten by ladybugs. So, although kind of funny, if you've seen my review for Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, I start paging through it and a ladybug lands on the book and starts walking on the book. So, Tom says, yes, it's a player's guide that's free. It's got about 60 pages of the core book. Sweet. Very cool. Very cool. Well, Tom, if you decide you'd like to see a video review of the actual book, because I don't remember if that's available or not yet, reach out. Let me know. I'd be more than happy to take a peek at it and share a video review. So Paul Nolan says, Spirit Stone production launches in December. Shoutouts for you guys are okay. I'm not sure what Paul's talking about. So I don't know. All righty. All right. Anything else cooking in chat? Anybody wants to talk about? I still have my, so you know what's on the horizon too. I've got my Undaunted review coming soon. I have a review of, if I move stuff out of the way here, the Illustrated At the Mountains of Madness, Volume 1. That is from Free League Publishing. Yes. Very cool artwork in this. This will be up this weekend. I'm going to have more stuff up. In fact, I've actually been cranking out videos at a pretty good rate. So the way things are going with heading for another lockdown, it's like I'm going to have loads of time on my hands. Be sick of the Duct Tape Studios. So Paul Nolan says, sorry, that's my Prater's. I'm not sure what a Prater is. Production company. I don't know. But what are you doing, Paul? Tell us. Don't be making it a secret. As I end the show. Chat's over. He's like, partner, there you go. Thank you. I thought maybe it was some sort of special, Prater was some sort of business term that I am not familiar with. Oh yeah, they own 10% of the company. They call him a Prater. So Paul says that he's trying to avoid a shameless plug. Go ahead, shameless plug away. We've got Tom from Porcupine Publishing hanging out, telling us about Elephant and Macaw banner. We had Aaron from Paizo talking about different Pathfinder stuff. Speaking of, they are going to be sending along the Pathfinder 2nd Edition beginner box to me to check out. And we were talking about Dune Imperium from Direwolf Digital. Got an email today. That is on its way. It's supposed to arrive on Friday. So what I will try to do is I will try to see if I can get an unboxing video done on Friday. Because a lot of times, like for an example, when I've got the D&D stuff coming, I'll do the little graphics and stuff, have that all ready. So effectively, within an hour of it showing up in the mail, I could usually be shooting video. So I'm going to do the same with that. I'm going to get all of that set up because I know there are a lot of people out there who are really curious about Dune Imperium. So we'll find out. All right. So Ibram has popped into chat as well. Good to see you, Ibram. Thanks for joining us tonight. So we got a few more minutes. So a couple of things I wanted to mention. They're not gaming related, but geek culture related. First off, I saw that Michael J. Fox is no longer going to be acting due to his health, his deteriorating health. That's too bad. I always thought Michael J. Fox came across as a pretty good guy. Came across as a pretty good person. But yeah, you know, you never know. You roll the dice and look at Christopher Reeves, right? He was supposed to be a really good guy. Yeah. Well, they're right when they say only the good die young, right? That's why I'm planning on probably being around for like till I'm 90. So Disavowed 92 has joined us late in the show. Good to see you, Disavowed. Thanks for hanging out. Looks like we got a pretty decent chat going today. So yeah, so I was sad to see that. And then just before I went and started the stream, I stumbled across the announcement that I guess Wonder Woman 84 is going to premiere on HBO Max. I think it was Christmas Day. And I was like, wow. Well, it's getting to the point where all these movies are getting pushed back. So there is some chatter. I don't know if it's going to be true or not. There's some chatter that Disney Plus might air Black Widow, but they'll do the same thing they did with Mulan and charge like $30 for you, an extra $30 fee on top of your usual Disney subscription. So I'm curious if anybody who's out there watching right now, or even in the comments below after the fact, if you want to let me know, would you pay $30 to watch Black Widow streaming from the comfort of your home? I wouldn't. But then again, it's sort of like, I don't have a bunch of kids or anything. So they'd be like, I just paid a $30 ticket to go to the theater. So I understand that, if there's quite a few members of the family, yeah, maybe you'd consider it. But I don't think they did all that well with Mulan. I don't think they made a lot of moolah on Mulan. So I don't know. Anyway, so Paul Nolan's like, boop. I knew it was nope. I knew you hit the wrong key. I do that when I text. It either autocorrects to something I don't want it to say, or it doesn't autocorrect, and I'm like, what? So that is kind of cool that HBO Max is going to have Wonder Woman 84. Nice. Looking forward to it. So I was going to go see it. One of the few DC films that I would actually go pay money and sit in a theater to go see. So that should be pretty cool. Here's the thing, though. And I think this is what scares a lot of these movie studios as far as releasing it, like, say, Wonder Woman going on HBO Max and Black Widow, maybe. Like I said, they haven't decided yet. Plus, it could just be people chattering, right? Could be like Twitter chattering. You know how valuable that is. But I think the big problem, I think the big fear is piracy. I think that is the biggest fear they have. So, and yes, we know people sneak into theaters with their cams and get the screeners and crap like that, but they're garbage. They look terrible. But once you have something and you stream that out there, you put it on HBO, you put it on Disney, put it on Netflix, whatever, within minutes, that's starting to already be shared around the world. So, problem is, they put it out on HBO Max, they're not going to get anybody buying it in the theater, and you won't be seeing people purchasing it digitally. I don't think so. I don't know. So, the madman says $30. Nope. $10. Yeah. See, and I could see $10. See, $10, get a few people together, like who live in your house, so you don't have to worry about maybe getting COVID. Bring them all together. So Fleming Aaron says, yeah, get a group of people together, charge a cover. Yeah, there was a bar I went to years ago when I lived in Chicago, and they had one of those pirate boxes. So they would have all the big fights, the big event, big pay-per-view events, and they would close the bar unless you were a regular and they knew you, and then you could come through the back door. So, and we're not talking that long ago. This is 20 years ago. It's like, felt like I was going to a speakeasy. That's pretty funny. So yeah, we used to go catch all the fights in that there. But yes, I actually knew people who would also get the pay-per-view boxing, and they'd invite a bunch of people over and they'd say, yeah, it's $10. Be like, yeah, okay. So Paul Nolan says, yeah, cover charge and maybe a 2-drink minimum. Hey, never know. Never know. All right. So that is it for tonight's show. Once again, I do want to thank all of you who joined me live. Always appreciate that. Usually have a good chat going. I know a Grade A pointed out, isn't DuckTales rebooted? Yeah, I thought they had the new DuckTales. Isn't it with gosh, now I can't think of his name. David Tennant. Doesn't David Tennant do Scrooge McDuck? I thought he did, unless I'm cracking up. I mean, that is DuckTales, right? I didn't watch too many Disney cartoons when they were big because I was a little old to be watching. Although I got to admit, I did watch a little bit of Animaniacs because I thought that was like super bizarre. Anyway, if you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you subscribe, ding that bell because it will not only let you know when the Daily Dope streams live, Monday through Thursday nights right here on YouTube. It'll also let you know when I upload other videos, such as my upcoming video review of Volume 1 of the illustrated At the Mountains of Madness from Free League Publishing. So, of course, as I was saying, those of you who watch live, thank you so much. I always appreciate people hanging out, keeping me company so I don't feel like a complete idiot just sitting here talking into a camera. But then again, I know there are a lot of people out there who don't have an opportunity to watch the show live, and you watch after the fact. Maybe you even watch on Memorex. I really, really appreciate you as well. I appreciate anybody who takes time out to watch me pontificate endlessly online here. All right, so everybody enjoy the rest of your Wednesday night / Thursday morning, early afternoon, late afternoon, what have you. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday or into Thursday. I will be back tomorrow. And of course, as I wrap up all these videos during this never-ending pandemic, I really do hope all of you out there are being smart and staying safe. Oh, you're still here. Well, once again, thank you very much for watching this video. And of course, if you'd like to subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel, click right here. And of course, if you want to see one of the latest episodes of the Daily Dope, click right on up here. And if you want to roll the dice, take your chances, see what YouTube thinks you might like from the channel, give a click right here. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and I'll see you next time.